Hey there, IGNOU aspirants. If you've ever felt a bit stuck on how to answer those big, chunky questions on the environment, well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to master a crucial exam topic, breaking down exactly how to structure your answer to get those top marks. Okay, let's dive right in. This is the exact kind of question you can expect to see. See how it's a two-parter? First, you've got to lay out the functions, and then you have to explain what it all means for economic sustainability. We're going to tackle each part step by step so you can walk into that exam feeling totally prepared. So here's our game plan, our blueprint for the perfect answer. We'll hit the three core functions: the supplier, the sink, and the service. Then we'll connect the dots to the big message for sustainability. And stick around, because I've added a special section on advanced theory that'll really make your answer shine. We'll wrap it all up with a super quick revision. Let's do this. All right, first up, let's nail down the most basic, most fundamental function of the environment: its role as the ultimate supplier. I mean, this is the very foundation of our entire economy. This really says it all, doesn't it? Our economy isn't some separate thing floating in space. It's a subsystem, a smaller part of the much bigger environmental system. Just think about it for a second. Every single thing we use, from the phone in your hand to the food on your plate, it all starts as a resource from nature. The economy's job is just to transform it. Now, this chart really brings the supplier function home, right here in the Indian context. Just look at our energy mix. A whopping 60% from coal, another 25% from oil and gas. You add that up, that's 85% of our energy being pulled directly from finite resources that the Earth supplies. This is the supplier function in action, and man, does it show how incredibly dependent our economic engine is on what Mother Nature provides. Okay, so we've taken all these resources and used them. What happens next? Where does all the waste go? Well, that leads us straight to the second key function, the environment as a gigantic sink, basically absorbing all the leftovers from our economic activities. Now, here's a keyword you absolutely want to drop in your exam answer: assimilative capacity. It's a fancy term for the environment's amazing ability to clean up after us, to absorb and neutralize our pollution. But, and this is the most critical part of the whole concept, that capacity is not infinite. It has a limit. There's a breaking point. And this chart, wow, it shows you exactly what happens when we blow past that limit. On the left, you see this huge bar representing the mountain of waste a typical Indian metro generates every single day. And on the right, that tiny little bar is the environment's actual capacity to handle it. When what we throw out is so much bigger than what nature can absorb, the system breaks. And that, right there, is pollution. It's that simple. So we've got the supplier and the sink. But there's a third, equally important function. This one's less about physical stuff and more about, the quality of life that the environment gives us. These are the life-sustaining services. These are all the benefits we get without really using them up. I'm talking about that feeling of awe when you see the Himalayas, or the sense of peace you get from a quiet walk in a national park. These aren't just nice little extras. They are absolutely fundamental to our mental health and well-being. Plus, they have real economic value through things like tourism. So when we damage these services, we're not just making the world uglier, we're hurting ourselves and our economy. So how on earth are you going to remember all three of these in the middle of an exam? I've got a super simple trick for you. Just remember the three S's. S for source, which is our supplier, S for sink, which takes care of the waste, and S for serenity, which covers all those amazing life-enriching services. Source, sink, serenity. Got it? Easy. Okay, so that covers the three functions. That's the whole first half of the question. Done. Now for part two. What is the big message this sends to our economy? Well, the core message is all about recognizing limits and finally learning to live within them. You see, the fundamental message is that we have to shift our entire economic model. The old way, the traditional way, is totally linear. It's a straight line. We take, we make, and then we waste, all while pretending the source and the sink are bottomless. The message for sustainability is to switch to a circular model. It's about designing an economy that actually respects the planet's boundaries, one that operates within its ability to give us resources and absorb our waste. Now, if you want to take your answer from good to great, from a pass to top marks, this is how you do it. You bring in some hard science. Because these environmental limits we're talking about, they're not just some vague idea. They're backed by the fundamental laws of physics, the laws of thermodynamics. This shows why sustainability isn't just a nice choice, it's a physical necessity. The first law of thermodynamics is also called the material balance principle, and it's super simple. You can't create or destroy matter. For our economy, that's like a strict law of accounting. Every single ton of material we pull out of the environment must eventually go back into it as waste. Nothing just disappears. More stuff in equals more waste out, period. The second law, the entropy law, this one is the real game changer for sustainability. It basically says that quality always goes down. We take useful, organized, low entropy stuff like a piece of coal, and we burn it, turning it into useless, chaotic, high entropy waste like pollution and heat. It's a one-way street. You can't unburn the coal. And since our planet only has a finite stock of this high-quality stuff, this law is the ultimate scientific proof that an economy built on endless consumption just can't last. Whew. Okay, we have built the entire argument from the ground up. Now, let's boil it all down into one final, powerful slide. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet for the exam. This slide has got everything you need. You're going to nail the 3 functions: supplier, sink, service. Remember them with the SSS mnemonic. You're going to define the key jargon, assimilative capacity. You're going to state the core message. We need compatibility conditions. And then you're going to back it all up with the hard scientific proof from the material balance and entropy laws. The final goal? Operate within nature's capacity. Seriously, you can even pause and screenshot this for your final revision. And there you have it, the complete framework for a killer, high-scoring answer. But this is way more than just exam prep. It's a whole new lens for seeing the world. Start applying this framework to the things you see around you, from the local waste management issues to the big national debates on energy, and you'll start to see the core challenges of sustainability everywhere. All the very best for your exams.